news source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
We are following several big stories breaking now as we come on the air, including a dead body found near a popular trail. Lincoln police are now investigating what happened. We do know it's the body of a 37-year-old man, and he was found in a storm drain in Antelope Creek in the area of the Billy Wolf Trail. This is just south of N Street. This video shared with us by citizen journalist Melanie on our Now Local News app. You can see at least one police cruiser there. The LPD Criminal Investigations Unit is also on the scene working to recover the body and identify the cause of death. We will keep you updated once we know more information in this release. Also breaking now, the final tiles are placed in the Pershing mural at Wyuka Park. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Andrew Ward. It's a project that started all the way back in 2021. More than $4 million have been raised in the meantime. This is a brand new video into our newsroom showing the event taking place this morning, a monumental moment for the city. This is something that has been talked about for years. Organizers say they are now working to raise the remaining funds needed to transform the area into a public gathering space, included with gardens, seating, and event space for all Nebraskans. We're going to be hearing about those next steps coming up tonight at 5. All right, let's talk weather this morning. Beautiful blue skies here under Allen Communications camera. It's already getting toasty out there, though. Mid-80s outside. Let's get to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro, who's got a closer look for us in our first forecast. Good morning, Dominic.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said hot and humid in the forecast here for our morning shows today, and that's exactly where we're heading then for this afternoon. We might see a few more clouds, though, before it's all said and done, and there's a chance a few of us may even see a few sprinkles. But for the moment here in southeast Nebraska, got a few fair weather cumulus clouds there in your Berry Law camera, but blue skies otherwise, lots of sunshine. Temperatures, as we mentioned here, in the mid-80s, but though it feels like almost 90 degrees with dew points in the 70s, and winds out of the southwest right around 5 miles per hour for the moment. Here's a look at those temperatures statewide, mainly the 80s for most of us, but Valentine, Chadron trying to make their way here to the 90s, and imagine probably won't be too much longer till we start to see a few more of those popping up here in southeast Nebraska as well. Dew points in the mid to upper 60s, so then even lower 70s for us here in Columbus, Lincoln, and Nebraska City, Hebron, all with dew points right now in the 70s. So you're going to feel it if you're heading out to lunch today. A bit of a, kind of a thick feeling in the air, and other than that, mostly sunny skies, which probably won't help then the fact that we have a whole lot of humidity out there. On the way then to the upper 80s to low 90s for the rest of your afternoon, with again that chance for maybe a few sprinkles as we get through the peak heating hours of the day. So we'll keep an eye on the radar for you, but other than that, continuing to warm up as we head into this weekend. We'll talk more chances for heat, humidity, and then when the relief could finally make it our way coming up here in a few minutes.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Dominic. Breaking now, Lincoln police announcing they have safely located a previously missing person. 14-year-old Maylee Figueroa has been located and is safe. Authorities are thanking the public for their assistance, but has not released any other details surrounding her disappearance. She was reported first missing June 20th, leaving Bryan West Hospital. LPD first requested public help, finding her on July 2nd. New developments, we're learning more about an ICE operation in southwest Nebraska. That led to multiple arrests in the town of McCook, but also sparking confusion among the people that live there. Channel 8's Ron Fowler explains the situation.
After reports of federal immigration activity in McCook, Channel 8 reached out to authorities who are now confirming what happened. The Department of Homeland Security telling us ICE officers arrested 3 people during targeted enforcement operations in McCook. DHS identified all 3 as Mexican nationals who allegedly overstayed their visas or were otherwise in the country illegally. They're now being held at the Lincoln County Jail pending removal proceedings. DHS also providing Channel 8 this statement saying, quote, being in detention is a choice. The agency also saying, quote, we encourage all to take control of their departure with the CBP Home app, which will help them self-deport with a free flight back to their home country. Adding those who do not will be arrested and deported without a chance to return. McCook is in Red Willow County. The sheriff's office there addressing questions about its relationship with ICE. It's saying it will continue to cooperate with federal immigration authorities when allowed by law, but does not currently have the staffing or funding needed to participate in the federal program. And after hearing reports of ICE activity, Channel 8 reached out to the McCook Police Department for answers. The chief told us ICE gave his department a heads up before the operation, but said McCook Police did not participate in the enforcement action and referred questions about the arrests to ICE. Reporting for Channel 8 News, I'm Rod Fowler.
Thank you very much, Rod. Speaking of ICE, we're getting a closer look at the disturbing moments leading up to that deadly shooting in Maine. An ICE agent opening fire, killing 25-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero. The sound you will hear in just a second was captured in a camera in a nearby alley. It turns out Guerrero was not the man they were looking for. The agents in the Maine and deadly Texas shootings were not wearing body cameras. Homeland Security is now saying ICE arrest teams will have an agent equipped with one body camera. Guerrero's sister is demanding justice.
Saying her brother never got into trouble and was devoted to his family.
24 hours after ICE ordered a pause to most traffic stops, President Trump is reversing course. A source telling ABC News the president overturned that order. And developing now, Sterling James is expected to be arraigned next week after an appearance in a court on Wednesday. He's connected to murders of Roberto Tanner, Hannah Neville, and her unborn child. This was a scene at the beginning of the year. Police conducting a lengthy search for the bodies. Friends and family awaiting justice to be served in this horrific case. James is now charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. This week, we were inside the courtroom watching the next chapter in this case unfold. The defense raising 8 constitutional challenges, including getting rid of the death penalty in the case. The judge denying all of them for now and set James' arraignment for next week, July 22nd. We'll keep you updated as this case proceeds. We're also learning new details from investigators on what they found after seizing dozens of animals from an Elkhorn property. New released documents show officials removed 79 animals after an animal cruelty investigation. It includes reports of dead animals, dogs, some injured, living in a pen covered in feces. Other animals seized, including a zebra, emus, alpacas, goats, pigs, donkeys, and dozens of birds. Happening tonight, a prime time address from the president. President Trump has scheduled the speech for 8 o'clock tonight, and we're learning more about what he may discuss and the more on the controversy surrounding the topic. ABC's Karen Hua reports.
This morning, new details about the primetime address President Trump is set to deliver tonight.
It's really, really big news. It doesn't get bigger because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country.
Sources tell Reuters the speech is expected to reveal intelligence claiming that China had the ability to interfere in the 2020 presidential election and that Beijing may have gained access to U.S. voter data. The White House overnight not commenting. An intelligence community assessment back in 2021 found no indication any foreign actor altered the 2020 vote. Trump's address tonight comes a day after his nominee for National Intelligence Director, Jay Clayton, faced a confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill and refused to say outright that Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Just asking a really simple question. Who won the 2020 election?
As I said to you, we went through our processes, and Joe Biden became the president of the United States.
Answer the question. Who won the 2020 election?
I have answered the question.
Answer it. What is your answer?
I've given you my answer.
What is your answer? Isn't it humiliating to be unable to answer this question? To have to indulge the president's delusions?
Also on Capitol Hill, the president's attorney general nominee, Todd Blanche, who previously served as Trump's personal attorney, was grilled by lawmakers from both parties.
Are you and President Trump friends?
I'm his lawyer, was his lawyer, and now I'm the deputy attorney general.
A single Republican no vote could sink Blanche's nomination. Blanche also faced survivors of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in the hearing room as Democrats pressed Blanche to meet with them and to answer for the botched file release that exposed survivors' personal information.
Any mistake that we made should not have been made.
Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Still had a radioactive solution, what a local health clinic is doing to help people with arthritis. Why it may surprise you. We speak live with CHI next. Right now, arthritis affects about 1 in 5 Americans. When traditional treatments don't work, patients no longer have to suffer. Low-dose radiation therapy is now available at CHI Health St. Elizabeth, and Dr. Joseph Chu, medical director of the radiation oncology, is here to tell us how this all works. Dr. Chu, thank you for stopping by today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so when people see radiation, they often think cancer, right? So
Correct.
What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, radiation typically was used to treat cancer. And interestingly, alongside with malignancy, radiation has been used to treat non-malignants for over 50 years. We have been treating various conditions, been quite effective. However, low-dose radiation for arthritis kind of surfaced in our radar about 4 years ago. And it has been done in Europe as well as in South Korea in the last several decades.
It's just incredible. So who would kind of qualify for something like this?
We typically have patients who are not responding very well with medications, or sometimes they have a medical condition that limited their choice of medicine. And also patients that are not candidate for surgery management. They don't necessarily have the health or medical condition to go through surgery. Those are the more advanced osteoarthritis patients that can be good candidate for low-dose radiation.
So imagine when you say radiation to a patient, I think your eyes kind of get big a little bit. So what does a typical treatment session kind of look like?
Well, this radiation are extremely low dose. It's equivalent to less than 5% what we give for cancer patients.
Okay.
So it's not exactly the same as what people's perception about radiation treatment for malignancy. It's a local therapy, very focal on the affected joints, and it usually takes about 5-10 minutes to get treated.
Wow, incredible. So here's some information here on the screen right now. So how can the patients make an appointment?
I think they could just call our radiation oncology clinic at St. Elizabeth Hospital, and they can, and their referring doctor, like their primary care physicians, pain clinic, orthopedic surgeons, and call our office and arrange an appointment.
All right, sounds good. That number is there on your screen here. For people that might be still a little hesitant to try something like this, what would you say to them?
Well, it's an extremely effective treatment, virtually no side effect, and highly successful. 2 out of 3 patients only need 1 course of radiation treatment, and 1 in 3 patients get a second course of treatment. Success rate is way over 80%.
And then do they have to keep coming back, or is it?
They don't necessarily.
Yeah.
Average patient could have a symptom improvement last about 38 months.
Wow.
So sometimes they need a third time, or they need a treatment, but that usually is 16 months, 18 months, even 38 months out.
Wow, sounds good. Well, Dr. Chu, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you
so
very
much
much
for stopping by. All right. Dominic, what's coming up next on weather?
Yeah, Andrew, remaining on the hot and humid side for that forecast today, and we're only going to get warmer as we head through the weekend. We'll make sure you're all ready to go with that forecast coming up after the break.
impacting a good chunk of the country. Smoke from Canadian wildfires reaching most states east of the Mississippi River and north. This is a look at the hazy yellow tinge near Chicago, very hazy. Meanwhile, flash flood emergencies in Texas today, including in Kerrville along the Guadalupe River. That's the Texas Hill Country area where the deadly Camp Mystic flooding occurred last summer. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, water rescues are already underway.
Life-threatening flooding in central Texas today, with torrential rain prompting water rescues and evacuations in Texas Hill Country.
Highway 7, the 6200 block just before Boardwalk is completely impassable. There's about two or 3 foot of water, and it's rising.
The National Weather Service issuing a flash flood emergency, including a large and deadly flood wave along the Guadalupe River around Kerrville. Parts of the Guadalupe River rising more than 30 feet in 4 hours before cresting. The conditions expected to be similar to that catastrophic river flood on July 4th, 2025 that killed more than 130 people, including dozens of children at Camp Mystic. Rain falling at about 2 to 4 inches per hour in an area already saturated by wet weather. In Uvalde, more than a half year's worth of rain fell in the last 48 hours. Nearby in Ingram, an animal rescue still trying to recover from last year's flood, telling ABC News its animals are safe, but it lost all of its structures overnight for the second time.
It took everything again. I hate this. So tired of this.
In the San Antonio suburb of Boerne, this woman rescued from the roof of her car. Floodwaters barreling through the streets, overtaking neighborhoods. Just north of San Antonio, at least one tornado confirmed. Tornado warnings also issued in the Uvalde area. Now, in the next 24 hours, an additional 8 to 12 inches of rain is possible across parts of Hill Country. Tomorrow is when things are expected to finally start drying out. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
And we're getting you ready for yet another hot and humid afternoon on the way here for your Thursday, and that is just the reality of mid-July here in Nebraska, though this time a bit different. We might see a couple brief showers as we go throughout the afternoon today. Stormcast kind of picked up on it early this morning, and it might see a sprinkle or two at best. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of meaningful moisture out of this, but we'll take whatever we can get. Still plenty hot and muggy as we go then through the rest of the work week into the weekend, and really it's this weekend that we start to look at some of those extremely warm temperatures, and the heat index also going to kind of become a problem then, especially as we head towards Saturday, Sunday, and into the start of next week. Good news is, though, we are monitoring maybe the potential for a little bit of relief heading our way as we head towards the end of July. Your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook indicates that we have equal chances of being above or below average. Now, your average high temperature this time of year is 90, so I mean it's still plenty warm, but we might be able to sneak back down into the 80s here depending on how the upper air pattern kind of sets up over the next couple days, and also looking at a potential then to see a little bit of moisture, particularly out west, which is certainly where they could use it. We'll have a look at the drought monitor coming up a little later here in the show, but for the moment it's kind of trending just slightly above average, and we're already above average for the month of July here in southeast Nebraska too, so we'll take whatever moisture we can get, especially with kind of the dry start to the year we saw here really for the majority of the state. But the clear skies for the moment in southeast Nebraska. Beatrice, your Shones roofing camera, a couple puffy cumulus clouds here behind me, but that's going to kind of increase as we head throughout the next couple of hours. Temperatures at the moment across the state into the mid 80s for most of us, trying to work our way here to the 90s. It's 89 in Valentine, so they're close, 88 in Chadron, but mainly here in southeast Nebraska, the mid 80s, and a few spots trying to get a little bit warmer than that. 87 in Omaha, Beatrice. Omaha's kind of been on the warmer side for most of the day. We were in the 60s earlier. They were hanging out in the 70s back throughout the morning show, so that was kind of interesting to see. Winds kind of light and variable across the state, anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour. And as they bring things back here then to satellite, just kind of keeping an eye on a few fair weather clouds. But where these clouds set up will be important as we go throughout the afternoon, because they could give us a few brief showers here and there, especially for the eastern edge of the state. But clear skies continuing then as you head out towards the west. Here's a look at Stormcast, and we're going to be real careful here as, again, if you blink, you can almost miss it. Just a couple of brief showers here around the peak heating hours of the day, and then we might see 1 or 2 of these showers try and hang on as we head through your Thursday night. But Clear skies then as we head through the overnight hours. Maybe a chance once again to see a little bit of fog to start things off, but I think mostly sunny skies then as we head really through the majority of the day on Friday. Nice close there to the work week, and got to get ready then for some warmer temperatures as we head into the weekend. Here's a look at your high temperatures across the state today. Low 90s for most of us, but getting warmer as we head out towards the west and portions of the panhandle today. Once again, we'll try then for the triple digits for a couple of those temperatures. Lows tonight down into the 70s, a couple degrees above average for this time of year. You get a little closer to that mark then as you head out towards central Nebraska. But the extended forecast is hinting then at some warmer temperatures, especially as we head here into the weekend. Upper 90s for Saturday, Sunday into Monday. I think Monday probably the warmest day out of all of those as well. Now we then have to turn our attention to the middle of the week. We'll see kind of a push then in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that could give us some cooler air, which would be nice. That might also bring down a little bit of wildfire smoke with it, so kind of an extended look at that. But mainly monitoring then some cooler temperatures and chances for showers, possibly a thunderstorm as we head towards the middle of next week.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Still to come, the severe stomach bug causing chaos around the country, why cases continue to rise, and the worry from doctors.
Next.
Over the severe stomach bug surging across the country. Nearly 7,000 confirmed and probable cases in 34 states. That includes Nebraska. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest on the outbreak.
This morning, hospitals across the country are treating an influx of patients with the severe stomach bug cyclosporiasis.
Our emergency departments are busy. The urgent cares here locally are busy.
The intestinal illness that causes fatigue, fever, and an explosive upset stomach now on the rise in 34 states, with the CDC reporting nearly 7,000 confirmed or probable cases. The most in Michigan, where doctors say typically they see less than 50 cases per year.
It's an additional 500 to 600 cases per day. And so we're waiting to see if this is the end and whether we have, some light at the end of the tunnel.
Michigan health officials say the outbreak could be tied to lettuce or salad greens. In Colorado, for Sam Epperson, his 4-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter, the symptoms started with intense stomach cramps and only got worse for nearly 10 days.
I knew it wasn't just a normal stomach bug. We were trying to rack our brains thinking through, what we had for dinner the last couple of nights.
Newlywed Gretchen Plus says she contracted the illness while on her honeymoon and ended up in the emergency room.
I felt fine until we got out here, and then a couple days into camping into the Badlands, I started having symptoms.
She and her husband Brad staying positive.
our vows said in sickness and in health, so we're just getting an early start on that.
As health officials scramble to determine the parasite's origins, there are vacancies at the top of the FDA, CDC, and Surgeon General's office. On Capitol Hill Wednesday, the CDC director nominee was asked why the agency last year stopped one of its programs tracking the disease.
Is there any scientific or medical justification for CDC having eliminated mandatory reporting of that parasite?
Senator, this is the first I've heard of that. Cyclospora, as you know, is a terrible, terrible disease, as you mentioned.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up after the break, non-stop hoops. A local basketball team hosting a three-point marathon to keep the team going. How it's helping boost morale during the dog days of summer.
This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Now to the latest in the war in Iran, another round of violence overnight. Yeah, this video of Iranian drones in Iraq this morning. Gulf countries say they intercepted more drones and missiles from Iran today. The U.S. and Iran trading strikes for nearly a week now. As ABC's Olivia Rubin reports, the president is spending time in the Situation Room weighing his options.
Iran today releasing video saying it's launching more missiles targeting U.S. bases and facilities in the Middle East. Kuwait and Jordan saying they intercepted hostile drones and missiles. The United States carrying out more strikes too. A U.S. aircraft fired at an oil tanker that attempted to violate the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. Central Command saying the tanker ignored multiple warnings as it moved toward Karg Island, the Iranian oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. With the ceasefire over and the war nearing 5 months, sources say President Trump held a meeting in the Situation Room this week to discuss his options in Iran, including possible targets, after renewing his threat to bomb Iranian bridges and power plants as soon as next week.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. They better behave.
But in what the president is calling a gesture of goodwill, Iran on Wednesday freeing a wrongfully detained American citizen held since 2024. The woman's lawyer identifying her as Dina Karari, a U.S. Iranian citizen who the lawyer said, quote, has been trapped in Iran on bogus charges of collaboration with a hostile state and espionage.
And of course, many here at home are tracking the economic impacts of all of this. The price of oil is climbing back up, and some experts are warning that the price for a gallon of gas could hit $4 once again. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, a little bit of cloud cover out there. Man, it is a warm midday here for those construction workers over there on our ABC Seamless camera. We got temperatures already in the mid-80s. Let's get to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro now. Yeah, Dominic, hot, humid, typical forecast.
Yep. All right. There's your forecast. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go ahead and get a little early start to lunch here. No, you know, hot and humid as always here for mid-July. So here's a quick look outside as well. A few puffy cumulus clouds out there, but outside of that, likely going to see a fair amount of sunshine as we take a look here on your Allo Communications camera. Temperatures already in the mid-80s here in Lincoln. It's 86 in Grand Island. A few more mid-80s as you head out towards the west. Chadron at 88, Valentine 89, and both O'Neill and Omaha also at 87. So kind of starting to creep on up there. Winds light and variable for most of us across the state, between 5 to 15 miles per hour. But you also have to head out towards the west to see a few more of those stronger conditions there. So again, I would take a little bit of a breeze right now, honestly, kind of give us some relief from the heat, but continuing to kind of see that fair weather cloud cover build in here as well. You can almost see it as a line just down from Sioux City towards Columbus, here towards Lincoln, and then down into southeast Nebraska. We'll keep an eye on these as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. We could see a few spot showers pop up out of these. Ultimately, though, on the way then, the temperatures here hanging around the low 90s for the rest of the afternoon. I don't know what's going on there with 77 at 2 p.m. But anyway, the low 90s here the rest of the way. So it looks like the graphics also decided to take some time off here early with this weather segment. But plenty more heat and humidity to talk about. More details on that in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'd take a 77 right about now. All right. Thanks very much, Dominic. Developing now, deliveries made in Papillion are about to get a high-tech upgrade. Amazon announcing their Prime Air drone service is coming to their center in Papillion. Prime Air can deliver packages 5 pounds or less within a 7.5-mile radius of their center. 12 drones will fly between 150 to 300 feet up to 70 miles an hour. They lower the 12 feet, then drop the package. No fragile items in the location you choose. The new service adds 30 new jobs. It will launch later this summer. Only on 8, a local basketball team is going to the extra mile to stay together this summer. This is not your traditional marathon. The team's spending all day in the gym aiming to have someone shooting a three-point shot the entire time. That's 12 hours, one girls' high school basketball team, one goal, and they accomplished an impressive feat. Channel 8's Danielle Da Silva has the story for us.
They're a team obsessed with reps. The three-point marathon at Lincoln Southeast is a sort of preseason to their preseason for the girls basketball team.
Today we're basically just challenging our girls from a different perspective. Sometimes July can get just kind of the dog days, and so how can we energize our program a little bit, keep them challenging themselves, setting goals.
Despite this being the first year the marathon has launched, Coach Dell and assistant coach Beatty have been committed to readying the girls in all capacities, and it's working.
2 years ago, when we kind of started focusing on shooting, we had no girl shot above 20% of the year. Last year, we had, I think, 7 girls shot above 30%, and 1 girl actually shot 42% of the year. So
the girls are thankful and equally committed, like senior Leslie Garcia.
They have our mentality with our coaches too, pushing us, and even I was supposed to be here for an hour. I've been here for over 2 hours, so I was happy because I knew we were going to get a lot of shots in. It was going to improve our team a lot, not just individually, but as a team. With all of us here and all of us working together, it should be easy for us.
And when this junior first heard of the challenge, she knew it would take some effort to keep going, but
you gotta do what you gotta do. It's really just a mindset, you have to lock in, forget what's around you.
The goal of today went from 5,000 shots to 10,000. Despite having the wrong shoes, this reporter can proudly say she helped that count. Girls will keep coming in for 30-minute intervals to make those shots and hope that those who learn about what they're doing will realize how hard they're working.
No matter how many hours we spend in the gym or in weights, we still do it. We just rock through it, I guess.
Danielle Da Silva for Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Danielle. Nice shot. And the final numbers are in. The team finished the 12-hour challenge with 10,382 made three-pointers, including 4 players who each hit more than 1,000 shots on their own. New details: the long-awaited masterpiece is complete at the Gage County Fairgrounds. After nearly 3 days of painting, Beatrice High School student artists have finished a mural celebrating the Gage County Fair. The project taking 67 hours to complete. It's a team of students spending days transforming what used to be a blank wall into a colorful tribute representing the Gage County Fair and the community it brings together. The art program thanked the fair board for the opportunity, saying the mural is a lasting piece of art they hope visitors will enjoy for years to come. Happening today, a new set of recruits taking their first step toward a career in service. A new class is officially underway for future law enforcement officers. The training academy consists of 20 Lincoln Police Department recruits and 30 Lancaster County Sheriff's Office recruits. LPD sharing these photos of their orientation day full of paperwork, headshots, fingerprints, and uniform fittings. We've got more on this coming up tonight at 5. Still to come this morning, coin creation. The U.S. Mint says they are starting work on a new dollar coin with President Trump's portrait. What they say this will represent next. Piece to its collection of coins. They started work on a new $1 coin featuring President Donald Trump's portrait. It's to commemorate America's 250 years of independence. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announcing this on X, saying the coin celebrates the strength of American values and the promise of a nation dedicated to preserving freedom for all. Scientists may have found a way to make pastries healthier, and Conagra says every produce it sells must now earn its keep. Jane Kane has today's Ag and Energy Report.
Conagra, the maker of Slim Jims and Healthy Choice, is mapping out a strategy to invest more in its brands. CEO John Brace says this may mean some of its food brands go away. The company will focus on growing its frozen meals and meat snacks. Well, solar engineers are warning that a lack of proper ventilation in rooftop solar systems could spark dangerous upward trend in solar-related fires, pointing to a predictive model forecasting 122 solar fires in California alone by 2030. Experts argue the industry must prioritize thermal safety, specifically by mandating that structural air gaps dissipate extreme heat rather than sacrificing sound engineering for aesthetics as solar adoption continues to surge. Well, Tesla is launching a new guaranteed future value program that locks in a preset resale price for buyers financing a new Model Y or Model 3. The move directly targets the depreciation fears that have followed Tesla's own aggressive price cuts over the last 2 years. Now, Tesla says the guaranteed value covers the final payment on the loan, meaning there's no out-of-pocket cost to close the finance deal, provided the vehicle stays within the agreed mileage and meets wear and tear guidelines. Well, a healthier version of pastries could eventually become a reality as Scottish researchers develop a plant-based alternative to traditional pastry fats. The scientists' goal, they say, is to produce a pastry with the same flavor and texture that people are used to, but with less saturated fat. They're doing so using plant-based oils. Nutritionists say it's still too early to see if the food science will eventually lead to a healthier product. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
Well, kind of the first time in a while here where we could talk about chances for a few showers here for your afternoon forecast. Can't rule it out. Likely would be fairly brief in nature and not a whole lot in terms of meaningful rainfall out of these showers, but it's a chance nonetheless, and it's a break from talking about how hot and humid it is. And don't worry, this weekend we'll have plenty more opportunities to mention the heat index, the hot temperatures, the high dew points. That's going to be kind of a mainstay as we head into this weekend and into the early portions of next week. And we'll talk about the upper 90s here in just a second. But as always, today is Thursday, Drought Monitor Day. So starting out first here with last week's data, and you'll notice as we get ready to take a look at this week's data, we saw some improvement, mainly out here in Box Butte County. As you can see, they were almost entirely there in an exceptional drought. Now went down a category to that extreme drought in the lighter red color, and even the eastern edge of the county there in that severe drought in orange. But we did gain a little bit more of this abnormally dry category here in yellow. It's not officially considered drought by the U.S. Drought Monitor, but kind of areas they're just keeping an eye on. With things being a little drier here over the last week or so, we did see that kind of extend then into portions of Cass and Otoe County in southeast Nebraska too. But overall, most of these kind of most of those categories took a step in the right direction, and we'll continue to kind of see how that plays out over the next week or so. Precipitation potential, particularly here in eastern Nebraska, next to nothing, though the areas that could certainly use it the most, anywhere between a quarter and a half an inch. So I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something, and anything helps here, especially with the drought situation out west. So you can hopefully see some more rain chances here in the forecast coming up as we head maybe into the end of July and start of August. Another look outside here on your Honda of Lincoln camera, South 27th and Yankee Hill Road. There you can see a few more of those fair weather clouds here in the sky behind me, but temperatures at the moment into the mid-80s already here in Lincoln, and the 80s really for most of us across the state, and including a few spots there kind of close to 90. It's 85 as we mentioned here in Lincoln, 87 in Beatrice, 85 as well in Hebron, and 86 in Grand Island. That on top of dew points here in the upper 60s to low 70s. Certainly going to feel the humidity as you go outside tonight. I know sometimes they call it the air you can wear, and that's definitely going to be the case today with some of those higher levels of humidity. And with that, any clouds that do pop up because of the higher humidity might even give us a chance for a sprinkle or two. We'll kind of see how this all sets up here. I know we got a few fair weather clouds popping up in far southeast Nebraska, a few more closer here to the interstate in the capital city, Omaha area. So we'll keep an eye on these. It could give us a couple sprinkles this afternoon, but I don't think we'll see too much more than that. Stormcast does show those kind of get going here as we head closer to 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Then maybe one or two trying to linger around until 9, 10 o'clock. And I think ultimately as we head towards the start of your day on Friday, things are going to be fairly clear. Might see a little bit of fog to start things off once again, but then mostly sunny skies as we go throughout the afternoon. Central Nebraska might see a few more passing clouds, but really sunny, hot, and humid, the headliners to that forecast as we head into the weekend ahead. Temperatures this afternoon for southeast Nebraska, upper 80s to low 90s, winds out of the south and west, maybe a touch breezy out there too. We do expect that heat index to climb as we head here into the weekend with triple digits possible for your feels like temperature on Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, and for good reason. Your air temperatures here into the upper 90s through the majority of the weekend into the start of next week. Bigger changes though in the pattern as we head towards the middle of next week. Some cooler temperatures and maybe a couple chances for rain there as well. More details in that forecast as we get a little bit closer.
Thank you very much, Dominic. DeBelby now. The air show people on one Florida beach will never forget. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
Overnight, the Blue Angels confirming they will conduct a review after a jet buzzed this crowded beach during an air show in Pensacola, Florida. The blast of air tossing tents and chairs across the sand as beachgoers screamed.
I've been coming for 10 years, and I've never seen a pass like that in my life. I literally thought we were going to be taken out by the Blue Angels, but it was amazing.
One jet can be seen flying over the water, but seconds later, a second jet thunders over the crowd, kicking up sand, chairs, and umbrellas in its wake. The Blue Angels saying during an arrival maneuver, an aircraft flew lower than the standard profiles, resulting in a disturbance on the beach. Team leadership is reviewing the circumstances surrounding the maneuver and conducting a thorough safety review. It's not the military's first beach flyover controversy this month. 8 South Carolina National Guard helicopter pilots were suspended after this low pass over a beach on July 4th. Days later, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reversed the punishments, saying, "Carry on, Patriots." Hegseth also lifted the suspensions of these Army pilots who hovered near singer Kid Rock's home in Tennessee earlier this year. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Still to come, a key piece of evidence in the case of Nolan Wells, how this new developments could help bring some closure to the family.
Be the first to report breaking news with the
Now, the Nolan Wells investigation. We're hearing from his family after their meeting with the district attorney, including their decision on a key piece of evidence in the case. ABC's Aaron Koturski has the latest.
This morning, the parents of Nolan Wells say they're ready to share their son's cell phone with the authorities investigating his death.
We will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts.
His mother tracked the phone to someone who was with Wells on Horn Island and suggested some content may have been deleted. On Wednesday, the family met with the district attorney, who will present the case to a grand jury to decide whether what happened to Wells involved a crime.
We had a very respectful meeting.
The case and its developments are evoking strong reactions. The FBI is now assisting investigators in Mississippi and says it is working to address interstate threats that were received by individuals related to this matter. None of the recipients was identified, but Trayston Shepard told us he and other friends of Wells who were with him on the island have received threats.
It worries me. It worries me for my friends. It worries me for my family. At the end of the day, man, we're all young adults and we're still learning this whole adulthood / life thing, and we did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it.
And we saw the area firsthand where Wells is believed to have drowned. His body was recovered 2 days later. And this morning, dispatch audio from the boat Wells's friends took home in distress. A person heard requesting help.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Friends told us Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met. While the community and Wells's family await answers, they're planning the 18-year-old's funeral.
We want to celebrate him. And he would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him.
Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead, farm fun, how local producers are using agritourism to boost their income and keep family businesses running. ABC's Rena Roy reports on how a family farm is reinventing itself.
What used to be Hellerich's Family Farm is now Hellerich's Adventure Farm, a new name to reflect just how much the farm has evolved.
We had our son Liam's 9th birthday. He really wanted to do something different and fun for his birthday, so we did the Adventure Farm today.
The Pennsylvania farm has been in the Hellerich family since 1933. Brothers Paul and Bruce Hellerich are the 4th generation to care for the land. But becoming an adventure farm didn't happen overnight. In the 70s, it was a simple farm stand on the side of the road. In the 80s, they added pick your own crops.
And then my brother said, you know, I've heard of this stuff called agritourism, where people will come to the farm and pay to do an activity, and they learn about farming and all those kinds of great things.
So in the 90s, that idea grew into a hayride and a corn maze.
My dad's like, that's never going to work. No one's going to pay for a corn maze. So anyway, we did a corn maze and everything worked out great. And then just after that, he passed away, unfortunately. So we were kind of in a situation like, what do we do?
In honor of their father, the Hellerich brothers preserved the land, preventing it from ever becoming a housing development. Fast forward to today, they're ziplining, goat yoga, mini golf, and so much more.
I don't think we would have come here if there was like only a farm and lots of cornfields. Even though that's cool too, I think having stuff like mini golf and like all the adventure stuff and goats is really fun to visit as well.
So we got to keep planting sunflowers, so we're going to have sunflowers throughout the season.
Paul believes agritourism activities are a great option for farmers to make ends meet.
It's probably the easiest way to kind of supplement your income from a farm standpoint. Anybody could do a hayride in a corn maze. They already have the equipment, they already have the corn, it's already in place.
For the Hellerichs, it's also a way to preserve their family legacy. Paul says his dad would be proud.
Oh, he'd be very proud. He'd say, we're nuts. He'd say, you're crazy. He'd be like, what? You did what to the farm? But yeah, he'd be super proud. Super, super proud.
Rena Roy, ABC News.
Before we go to break, here's a live look outside. Our Barry Law Tower camera. Final check of the forecast is next.